Scott Jarvie, good to meet you. What
Nice
do
to
you
meet
do
you.
at the museum?
I'm a visitor. Currently I'm doing my PhD at the Department of Zoology, the University of Otago. And I'm studying the reintroduction biology of Tuatara.
So you're the man to come to, are you, when it comes to Tuatara?
One of them.
One of them, he says, modest. But you were out, you were telling me before, you were out and about with Doc for some years.
That's correct. For the 7 years prior to returning to tertiary education, I worked for the Department of Conservation in remote and isolated places, including Row Island and the Kermadec groups in the north, down to the Antipodes Island in our sub-Antarctic.
And is this where you were introduced to Tuatara, where this interest came from?
No, I've always been interested in the outdoors. My first introduction to Tuatara was during my PhD research.
So you brought one today, which I was talking to you again before and thinking it was quite relatively small, but just shows you how ignorant I am.
No. Yes, this is an adult male Tuatara. It's a reasonably sized individual from Stevenson Island, Takapurera, in the Cook Strait.
That is a special sanctuary, isn't it?
Correct, it's a nature reserve. It's where the largest population of Tuatara is, estimated to be between 30 to 50,000 individuals.
So it's quite a few.
Yes.
Yes.
It's more than half the total estimated population of Tuatara.
The population of Tuatara used to be spread right through the country.
That's correct. Before the arrival of humans and introduced mammalian predators, their distribution was widespread, from Cape Reinga in the north down to Bluff in the south.
And along came the predators and...
Along came rats and curry initially with the early Polynesians.
That's the dog, isn't it?
That's the dog.
Yep.
And they just got wiped off the mainland. And now they naturally only occur on 32 offshore islands.
Do they breed prolifically, or are they fairly slow breeders?
Very slow breeders. They only reach sexual maturity at 13 to 20 years, and then they only breed every 2 to 5 years, depending on the island.
And they can live to...
At least 100. The minimum age of that they know they can get to in the wild is 91 years on Stevenson Island.
So you're making a model of it?
Correct. This model will identify climatically suitable release sites for Tuatara under climate change. Some populations...
So this is a technical model?
It's quite technical, correct.
It must be, obviously. I mean, it's not just a model for people to look at. It's something which you'll be able to determine where you can introduce Tuatara. So it's got to have all sorts of abilities.
Correct. This model will be able to predict where Tuatara will be able to survive and thrive under certain climate scenarios.
Climatic scenarios.
Correct.
No predators involved here.
Not in this model, no.
So when we're talking about a model, we're not actually going to reproduce this. We're not going to be able to look at it and say this is a Tuatara.
No, this model will create habitat maps where we can see which is the most likely habitat that can support Tuatara in the long term.
So this is something that you sit down at the computer and work out?
There will be a lot of number crunching involved.
Something you enjoy?
Very much, yep. It's a good challenge, and I'm making reasonable progress with it.
What have you come up with?
Building upon the work of other researchers, I've found that natural populations of Tuatara appear to be threatened by climate change. This makes it important to identify climatically suitable release sites for Tuatara for the future.
For the future?
For the future, correct.
Well, Scott, we wish you all the very best with that.
Thanks, Dougal.
It's vitally important, of course. Thank you very much for coming in.
Oh, you're welcome.